Shalom, where I rum you back with another lesson. Lord willing to be edifying. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to my Lord and Savior Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Maharakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who taught me this truth. Shalom to you, Akim and Aquaf, that believe and have faith in Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai in these last days. Just got a couple articles and a couple videos just going into basically the time and biblical prophecies we are coming up on. This right here, this article, just read the headlines on these articles, man. I got a post from Twitter. It says U.S. bank trouble hurls the end of the dollar reserve system, man. It is the end of the dollar reserve system, man. As we been seeing, these other countries are leaning towards the BRICS nations. This is a terror alarm. It's a Twitter post. It says China, Russia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, or whatever country that is switching from the currency of the free world, the US dollar, to the less unstable gold is sending a war signal to the free world. So they know war is coming, man. Because all these nations are switching. And they're alienating America from the world economics, the world, pretty much the BRICS nations are leaning towards their own financial system and not leaning on the dollar system anymore, man. And that's making the dollar crash. And it's not came full-fledged yet, but it's coming real soon. As the Kenyan president said, get rid of those dollars. He warned their nation to get rid of those dollars, man, because in a couple weeks, they're going to pretty much be useless, man. He just kind of signaling towards getting rid of those dollars. But it says sending a war signal to the free world and should be sanctioned. See that? So they know war is coming behind the world switching from this currency. And as this video right here shows that they took the Federal Reserve off the debt clock, man. So they making little small changes right before our eyes to let you know that this dollar is done.
Everybody needs to look at this. The U.S. debt clock no longer says Federal Reserve. It now says U.S. Treasury dollars. It's been done. It's done, guys.
It's done, meaning the dollar system is done. The financial system of America, as we read in the first article, the dollar system is completely finished, man. You're going to see higher inflation here soon. And this is basically going into China, man. All these nations want what China can offer now. They're tired of war. They're tired of destruction of their country. They want peace and prosperity for the most part, man. These nations, that's what they're looking for now, man.
Thank you. I think the Chinese are ahead of schedule. I underestimated how fast they would surpass America in various indicators. The Heritage Foundation actually next month is going to come out with a list of indicators where China has already surpassed America. Some of them are quite dramatic. When the Chinese launched a round-the-world hypersonic missile, we can't do that. We were quite certain China could not do that. When they went to the far side of the moon, we can't do that. We were surprised that China could do it. In the number of biotech areas, China has already surpassed us. So I underestimated two things. One was the progress of China. The other was I thought a coalition would form both inside America and around the world that would slow China down, that would say you're stealing too much, you're breaking the rules, you're doing things you never said before you would do. So there'd be a coalition. And the key member of the coalition would be India. That has not happened. No real coalition is formed against China's conduct anywhere in the world. And in particular, something called the Quad was formed. Initially, the media thought this was to talk about China. Australia, Japan, India, the United States. The heads of state would meet, the foreign ministers would meet. But actually what happened, in the joint statement that would come out of the Quad meetings, China could not be mentioned. One country that belongs to the Quad prevented the others from saying anything negative about China in their joint statements. So China's grown much faster than I thought, and the response from around the world has been much weaker than I thought. So if anything, the 100-year marathon is ahead of schedule, to answer your question.
So, by when, in your estimate, does China overtake the United States and emerge as the world's global superpower number one? Is that inevitable? Can America still win?
You know, when you think about cricket and soccer and worldwide sports, there's a number of things that happen that billions of people watch. You know the score, it's up on the scoreboard. You can see the umpire make a good call or make a bad call. You know who the teams are. In the US China or the India China competition, there's none of that. There's no announcement, the score is not made public, and there's no umpire. That's the most important thing of all. There's no umpire. So the role of India today and the worldwide media in general is very important. They've got to describe what is the game that's going on that's secret, that's behind the scenes. Which indicators should we watch? I didn't mention another surprise to me was nuclear weapons. The Chinese have told the world since their first nuclear test in 1964, we don't believe in nuclear weapons. Yes, we have a couple hundred, maybe, but that's only for defense. Now, just in the last 2 years, it's been announced by our strategic forces, China is having a breakout, what's called strategic breakout. They're building so many new ICBM silos that just 2 weeks ago, our key general said, China now has more ICBM nuclear weapon silos than America. This is a big surprise. But is there a worldwide coverage of the team players in cricket? Suddenly this has happened? No. You'll find it very difficult to find in any newspaper in the world or any TV show in the world other than yours that this is happening. Now, if the Chinese go for 1,500 nuclear warheads, which is the American military estimate, they're going for either parity or to surpass both America and Russia. Now, Indian nuclear forces it's secret, but let's say it's 1 or 200. If China goes for 1,500, that's a 7-to-1 superiority against the Indian movement that we're talking about so much.
So yeah, for the most part, I just brought that video I make because America is declining and India and China is rising, and those nations know that China is surpassing them with the nuclear weapons and with technology. Pretty much everything. They surpassing them, man. As America continued to spend money on war and bombing other countries, these nations are strategically building their nation up and building their war weaponry up as well, man. While they was basically running the world by bombing them. It's another little video I wanted to get, man. It's pretty good as well. He brings out a lot of knowledge. I'm not gonna play all of it. I'm gonna play the majority of it, but I'm not gonna play all of it because it's 5 minutes and 48 seconds.
The United States, and I say this to you as an economist, for the first time in a century, the United States has a real, serious economic competitor. You know, World War I ended that issue. The United States emerged top of the heap. The two potential challengers, Britain and Germany, had defeated themselves in that war. They were no match. The Japanese tried a little bit. They came too little, too late, and they were wiped out in World War II. And the United States, top of the pile, top of the heap. The Soviet Union, whatever you think of it, was never an economic competitor of the United States. Much too poor, much too underdeveloped. They couldn't do it. They never could. And nobody who's ever been involved in real economic history would imagine. But that is no longer true. I am not arguing for or against, but the People's Republic of China is a new, real phenomena for the United States.
It's a new competitor.
Americans cannot get their heads around it. I understand it. Nobody wants to live in the empire when it's declining. It's a lot of fun when it's going up. It is not a lot of fun when it comes down. It's like certain drugs, very different experience going up and coming down. Let me give you just a couple of examples so you understand. One of the most important economic tools in the world today is rapid trains. Trains that go a couple hundred miles an hour, that cut down the time to go from one city to another for a person or for cargo. That changes the pricing dynamic of everything because it is cheaper and easier to have people meet and to have goods move. It's going to be a significant part of the global competition in the years ahead. The world has quite a long track of really fast trains. 2/3 of the world's fast trains are located in the People's Republic of China. 0 in the United States. I could give you many more examples. Just think about that one. The fastest thing we have is the train that runs from Boston to Washington, D.C., the Acela, which I have taken many times. It is not a fast train. It's faster than the usual trains in the United States, but it doesn't compare with the TGV, if you know what that is, in Europe, or the fast trains in China. You can't do this. Most of the vast majority of cities that are large, of 1 million or more, are in People's Republic of China. They keep building cities before they move the people in, so that the cities are rationally organized in relationship to the transportation, in relationship to the different neighborhoods and different kinds of work that people have. The whole urban reality is fundamentally different and organized. The Chinese have a government that mobilizes public and private capitalism, public and private enterprises to achieve priority goals. Here are the 3 goals they've achieved you might want to think about. Number 1, growth in total output, called GDP. How fast does the growth in the total output of goods and services, how fast does it grow? For the last 25 years, the average annual growth of GDP in China has been between 6 and 9%. Over the exact same 25 years, the annual average growth of GDP in the United States has been between 2 and 3%. Do you understand the Chinese, for a quarter of a century, have produced economic growth 3 times as fast as the United States? Of course they're catching up. Of course, simply drawing the line of the graph means that before this decade is over, the largest economy in the world will be China, not the United States. Okay? Here's the second priority, real wages. What happens to the average wage in money that a Chinese worker is paid relative to the prices he or she has to pay at the store? That's what we call the real wage, the money wage adjusted for the cost of living. In the United States, over the last 25 years, the real wage has moved very, very little, less than 0.5% per year. We have a stagnant real wage. By the way, that's one of the reasons the white male working class is as upset as it is. Over the same 25 years, get ready now, the real wage of the average Chinese worker has quadrupled. This is not a contest. The contest is over. It's only now the results of who won and who lost.
Yeah, I had to play that whole thing, man, because he was getting into it, man, because he saw the working class Edomite sees that this society, this system is finished, man. That guy's an economist, and he knows that America can't compete with China anymore. They use their money to build up their army and continue to put all their money into weaponry and building up other nations for weaponry. These other nations, they see China, they see them as a nation of peace, not warring, not basically establishing war. But China goes to other countries and try to get I think a system they call the Bolt in the Belt and Road Initiative, Silk Road or something like that. Man, I forgot the name of it, but basically they use their money to build up people's nations. Man, they give you loans and shit to try to. I mean, and all of it's underhanded. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that they're fair about it, but it's a thing that they give people opportunity and not war. And the people, these nations, they seeking peace, man, prosperity, man. They go to China. China's building up, like you said, they building a city up before they even let the people move in. That's crazy, man. And America goes to other countries and blows it up and tears it down, and then they give them a handout in this shit. And if they don't go by what they want them to do, they basically they go and should take down take down a president or leader, and then should set their country up for continual failure, man. Those people are tired of the underhanded maneuvers that Babylon the Great does, man. This is Micah 4, and I'm gonna start at verse 1. It says, "But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua shall be established." And we're establishing that right now through the Spirit. "In the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and the people shall flow unto it." And they're flowing to it on a small level, but it's going to be turned up when Yahweh Bashem Yahushua comes. It says, "And many nations shall come and say, Come and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and to the house of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, the power of Jacob. And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua from Jerusalem." And that goes to show you that the people that's in the land now are not the people. And the people that that are supposed to be in the land, the Negroes, Hispanic, and Native Americans, are being built up in the last days to take back on the rulership of the whole entire planet, man, through Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. And that's what these people are really waiting for, man, the children of Israel to get back in position. China gives them a glimpse of some type of hope, but the children of Israel will give them hope in the kingdom. They know, the people know that, you know what I'm saying? After that first 1,000 years, man, they're gonna live prosperous, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they're seeking for, and China gives them some type of hope on a low level, but we're gonna give it to them on a higher level. Verse 3 it says, "And he shall judge among many people and rebuke strong nations afar off, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks." See that basically, I'm gonna get that scripture because basically they instead of them trying to seek for war, they're gonna go back to changing their weaponry into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks, man. So they're gonna be going back into farming, man, getting their crops, man, eating off the land like they did in the ancient world. Now they're seeking to get the let me get that real quick. This is Joel. Here's Joel 3. They're using they turn their farm equipment into the swords and pruning hooks to get prepared for war. It says this is Joel 3 in Joel 3 in verse 9. It says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up and slacking. Beat your plowshares into swords." See that? Now at this time, these smaller nations, they're getting their plowshares into swords and their pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, "I am strong." So right now, they are getting prepared for war. But what we're going to offer them in the kingdom is going back to their natural ways, man. Preserving the earth, living off the land. Which Esau, in this kingdom, they had to get prepared for war, man, to fight. Verse 3 again, it says, and he shall judge among many people and rebuke strong nations afar off. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. And that's what the people are seeking, man. North Korea, they want to go to war now because they done roused them up. They done got those nations and those small nations ready for war. But when we are establishing the earth as rulers and leaders over the entire planet, they're going to go back to, farming. They're going to be back to using those plowshares and those pruning hooks, man. So Esau gives the people a false sense of hope and prosperity. And now only thing he gives them is war, man. He gives them the sense of war, man, unease, man. In other words, they're not at ease with Esau, man, because Esau is destroying the earth, he's destroying the people, and he continues the war against the people, man. This is Psalms 46, and I'm gonna start at verse 8. It says, come, behold the works of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, what desolation he hath made in the earth. He made wars to cease. See that? They want to cease from war, man. The Lord does this. He said, he maketh wars to cease unto the ends of the earth. He breaketh the bow and cutteth the spear in sunder. He burneth the chariots in the fire. So the Lord is coming back to bring these people a sense of hope, man, which he's going to give to the children of Israel first and foremost. But these other people are going to know that war is going to cease, man. They have no reason to fight. All they're going to have is, basically getting your land, man, taking care of your family. You know what I'm saying? Within each man of any type of sense of I would say any sense of human nature, they don't want to fight, man. They don't want to go to war, man. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to kill each other. You know what I'm saying? Only Esau seeks blood. These other nations, these other people, they don't seek that, man. Only Esau is that vile person, man. Verse 10, it says, be still and know that I am Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth. So Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is going to be exalted in the earth, man. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be exalted. It says, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua of hosts is with us. The power of Jacob is our refuge. Salah. And that's true, man. He is our refuge, man. And we're gonna put these other nations and the Lord gonna put all these other nations under us, and we're gonna rule over them, man. And we're gonna rule over them in righteousness, man. We're not gonna go and bomb your country and bomb little kids and shit, man. Trying to get two people out of a group that you set up in the army. You got these proxy armies and shit. I don't know all the different. Like it had what's it called, Al Qaeda, and they set up these armies. They fund them, and then they go back after a couple of years and they destroy the country, trying to get the people that they set up and paid to even fight against them. And these nations are tired of that, man. Like you seen in Afghanistan, they left all that equipment back, but they funded the people to fight against their own nation, man. This is Psalms 110 in verse 5. It says, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua at thy right hand shall strike through kings in the day of his wrath. So any nation ruler don't want to, firstly, elite is going to be taken and put in chains. But these other rulers and shit that ain't up of that level, if they don't want to, to get right, which they will, he going to strike them through, man. Which all the nations are going to fight against Yahushua when he comes. But, I'm just speaking of after, everything is established, man. He's going to strike through these kings, man, the day of his wrath. When he comes through and they fight against him, he's going to strike them through. He's going to put a lot of them to death. But when they come back and rule, they're going to have their piece of land. They're going to have, all their agriculture. They're going to have their land. They're going to be able to have dominion over their things. But they're still going to be subject unto the children of Israel, man. They're going to pay their what you call that? They're going to pay they're going to be basically subject unto us, and their riches is going to come through us, man. But they're going to do that with pride, man. They're going to be doing that with pride. It's not going to be a burden to them. They're going to give us their goods with pride, man. Verse 6, it says, He shall judge among the heathen. He shall fill the places with the dead bodies. He shall wound the heads of many countries, man. So like I was saying, the Lord, when they come and fight against the Lord, man, the Lord gonna put them down, man. All the nations, and that's how they're gonna know that you don't want to mess with the God of the children of Israel, man. He's gonna put all of them down. There's gonna be a lot of dead bodies, man. He's gonna put a lot of them to death, man. And he shall drink of the brook of the way, there shall he lift up the head. And the Lord going to be established, and he's going to be over all these nations, and he's going to let us rule over them for first 1,000 years. But after that, they're going to pay their pay. I forgot exactly what word it was using. They're going to bring their goods to us, man. After that, after the first 1,000 years, they're going to build up the kingdom, and then after that first 1,000 years, they're going to be basically bringing their goods to us as paying tribute to us, man. After the 1,000 years, this is Isaiah 2, and I'm going to start at verse 2. It says, "And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua house shall be established in the tops of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it." And we, like I said, I read this back in Malachi. All nations are going to flow unto it. Once we are established in the kingdom of heaven, in our land, the land of Israel, all the nations are going to flow unto us, man. And in the last days, it's been established now. As you see us be on the highways and byways making these lessons, they're coming to us on a low level, trying to see what we are talking about. You know what I'm saying? And most of the heathens, when we're on the highways and byways, most of the heathens come and seek out what we're doing on the highways and byways, man. Mostly 2/3 of our people, they don't even inquire, they don't even seek. They just walk by. But the heathens, they ask, they want to take a picture or ask, what is this about? And that's basically on a low level. They're going to flow onto us to know what this truth is about, man. What Yahweh Shem Yahushua, the God of Israel, is about. They're going to do that on a low level until it is established firmly in the earth. Verse 3, it says, "And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, to the house of the power of Jacob. And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua from Jerusalem." And that's basically when the kingdom of heaven, the law is going to be the Hebrew laws, man, the children of Israel, laws, statutes, commandments. And we're going to teach these other nations, man. They're not going to be able to have it written in their inward. The covenant is not going to be with them, in other words. The covenant is going to be with the children of Israel, because the other nations are going to continue to go off and sin against the law, statutes, commandments, and we're going to punish them with that, man. They're going to go to our basic. I ain't going to say our similar to our court system, and I would say to make a comparison. They're going to go to our court system and be judged by the children of Israel court system. Not saying it's going to be exactly like that, but for the most part, as they have it, just comparing it to the way we have it now, the laws they have, the laws of the land they have now, they're going to be judged by the laws of the scriptures, man. The laws, statutes, commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. Because we're going to teach these other nations the laws and statutes and commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, because every Israelite going to have it written in their inward parts, man. We're going to know it right off the bat. Verse 4, it says, "And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore." So it's not going to be any war in the kingdom of heaven. "O Jacob," it's like, "O house of Jacob, come ye, and let us walk in the light of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua," man. And all these nations are not gonna fight anymore. The war is gonna be over with, man. The fighting is gonna be done. There won't be no fighting in the kingdom of heaven. It'll be work, continual work. I should have got that scripture, Salaki. I should have got that. I still got about 6 more scriptures to get. This is Isaiah 14, and I'm gonna start at verse 12. It says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? And Lucifer's children is who's fallen from heaven. that rulership they have. These Edomites, man, in America, Babylon the Great, their rulership is fallen, man. And they're the offsprings of the spiritual demon Satan, which is fallen. The Lord seen them fall. It says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations, man? In America, Babylon the Great did weaken the nations, man. And all these nations fighting and destroying all these lands. It says, for thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of power. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation, Salakia, in the sides of the north. And that's North America, Babylon the Great, man. They ruled, they've conquered with the military of America, man. He says, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High, man. They thought that it was going to be like the Most High. These Edomites, man, at high level, thought it was going to be like the Most High. And now, it's setting up and establishing China to be the new superpower, which they're going to come down as well, man. I got a scripture for that. These Moab is coming down as well, but the Lord using the Moab to bring down Edom. And the elite are pretty much done with America, man, Babylon the Great. They're done with it. They're leaning now on China, man. That's why they got the system China has set up, all the things that the MOTB, which is the mark in Revelations 13:19, man. They have that country set up perfectly for the system that they want to bring out and have all the people basically chipped in what you call it when they take and when you can when they use a facial recognition for everything, to get a bike, to go in the gas station, the store, everything. They already got it set up in China, man. So the elite are using China as a next superpower, and basically they know that America is Babylon the Great. They know this place is going to be judged, so they pretty much washing their hands with it, man. As you seen as the what was it, the debt clock. They basically took their name off the debt clock because they know the dollar's soon to crash, man. It might happen this week or next week, man. Lord willing. It says, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the side of the pit, man. Let's talk about the Edomites, man. They finna be brought. They was high. They was ruling over Jake, and they had their power. Now they coming down, man. They coming down to hell, which is a condition. The Lord is going to put them in hell, man, in the sides of the pit, man. So they're going to be living in pits, not houses in the kingdom of heaven, man. Esau, the Edomites, man. Because the rulership of the Edomites, they ruled with they never let go of Jacob, man. They kept their hatred forever. And there's plenty of scriptures that go into that, man. This is Amos. And I'm going to go to verse 9. I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, I saw Yahweh Bashem Yahushua standing upon the altar, and he said, smite the lintel of the door, that the posts may shake, and cut them in the head. All of them. I'm talking about these Edomites, man, these rulers and these leaders, man. And I will slay the last of them with the sword, man. They're going to put them to death, man. He that fleeth of them shall not flee away. So the ones that like go into the underground bunkers or go into their space centers, man, they're not going to get away, man. Even they get, you know what I'm saying? At the time, it might look like they get away, but they're not. This ain't Scooby-Doo, man. The Lord is going to get you, man. You ain't going to be able to get away. And he that escapeth of them shall not be delivered. See, if they escape from the judgment of these missiles, man, when they hit ground zero, they're not going to escape, man. It says, though they dig into hell, these underground bunkers, man, in these mountains, then shall my hand take them. Though they climb up into the heaven, into those international space centers and space stations and shit they got out in the heavens, it says, thence will I bring them down. It says, and though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel and the mountains, the mountain retreats, underground sea retreats. It's going to say it right here. It says, I will stretch and take them out thence, and though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea. So they got underground sea retreats and shit where they got underground sea cities and shit, man. He says, thence will I command the serpent and he shall bite them, man. So they got Esau been preparing for Yahweh Bashem Yahushua to come for decades, man. They knew he was going to come, man, and he knew that they was coming for them. Verse 4, it says, and though they go into captivity before their enemies, thence will I command the sword, and it shall slay them. So we're going to be putting them to death, man. And I will set my eyes upon them for evil and not for good, man. This is the Lord speaking, man. He's going to set his eyes on them for evil and not good, man. Just like he did when he put us in captivity and slavery, man. It wasn't for good, man. It was for evil, man, because we were sinning against him, man. So Esau is going to get these curses put on him, as in Deuteronomy 30, verse 7. I'm going to drop down to verse 8. It says, behold, the eyes of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua are upon this sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So this sinful kingdom the Lord is talking about is Babylon the Great, man, which is America, man. And we standing on the shores of it right now, man. The Lord said he will utterly destroy it off the face of the earth. And that's a biblical prophecy, man. And that's going to happen. This is Psalms 149. Psalms 149. Every time I do a lesson, I get hiccups and shit. Slakia. This is Psalms 149. I'm gonna start at verse 1. It says, praise ye Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, sing unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushua a new song, and his praises in the congregation of the saints. And that's the children of Israel. Let Israel rejoice in him that made him. And all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. Let the children of Zion be joyful in their king, Yahushua, and our Lord and our King, King David, man. Let them praise his name in the dance. Let them sing praises unto him with the timbrel and the harp. For Yahweh Bashem Yahushua taketh pleasure in his people, man. He will beautify the meek with salvation, man. That's the hopeful elect, man. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. And that's in peace, man, back in rulership, man. Let the high places, out the high praises of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hand. And that's an actual two-handed sword that we're going to have in the kingdom of heaven when we get those new bodies, man. He says, to execute vengeance on the heathen and punishments upon the people. So we're going to rule over these people, man. But they're going to have, they're going to love for us to rule over them, man, because they know that we are going to be fair. Esau not fair, man, but Jake going to be fair, man. But we're going to rule them and punish them, man. And he says to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with feathers of iron. So we're gonna wrap chains around these kings, man. These elite and these low level elite. You know what I'm saying? You think of your presidents and shit like that. They're gonna go in and change as well. But man, I'm talking about those top DuPont, Gettys, Rothschilds, all those people, man. We're gonna wrap them in chains, man. It says to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints. Praise ye Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. So this is an honor that the saints do these to these elites, man. So Lord willing, I'm a part of those saints, man. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Lord willing, I'm a part of those saints, man. Because this has to happen, man. It's a biblical prophecy, but it has to happen, man. The earth is yearning for the children of Israel to get back into rulership, man. This is Isaiah 27. I'm going to start at verse 1. He says, in that day, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, with his sword and great and strong sword shall punish Leviathan. Let's talk about you Edomites, man. You rulers, man. I just named a couple of them. He says, the piercing serpent, even Leviathan, that crooked serpent. And that's that crooked serpent is Esau, man. All the way back to the garden. And he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea. Man, he didn't want me to get that out, man. Yeah, so these rulers, these elite are finna go into captivity, man. Hardcore bondage, man. For 1,000 years, man. And then it's going to be Obadiah 1:18, man. As Apostle Tahar favorite scripture. Y'all, he's bring out, man. And that's true, man. for 1,000 years, man. After they build up our kingdom, and then they're going to be Obadiah 118, man. So look that scripture up, man. Keep that in your repertoire. The scriptures, man. Obadiah 118. This is Isaiah 24, and I'm gonna start at verse 21. It says, "And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh Shem Yahushua shall punish the hosts of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth that are upon the earth." See that? There's no way that Esau and his elite and these other nations elite, they're gonna get out of this judgment that's coming, man. He says, "And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered." And that's why we were going to these holes, the Mount Carmel up in the space stations, and we're gonna lock them, put chains on them, and then we're gonna put them in prison, man. He says, "And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit, and shall be shut up in the prison, and after many days shall they be visited." And that's gonna happen, man, in the kingdom of heaven, man. We're gonna round them up. We're gonna put them in a pit, man. They're gonna live in pits, man. And they're gonna be in them pits, man, for many days, man. Then we're gonna go visit them and pull them out for work. Let me get this real quick. This is Isaiah. This is Slocky. I'm gonna get Psalms because the way the Lord has it set up is beautiful, man. Because Moab is right now is in control. He is over Edom. This is Psalms 60 and verse 8. It says, "Moab is my washpot over Edom." See, the Lord put Moab up, which is the Chinese. He put them up over Edom to bring them down. He says, "Moab is my washpot over Edom. Will I cast out my shoe? The Philistines triumph thou because of me." So the Lord, everybody is under the rule of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. I don't care if they have riches or no riches, man. The Lord still controls that nation no matter what. "Who will bring me into the strong city? Who will lead me to Edom?" See that? The Lord is using China to weaken Edom for the Lord to come. He got it set up perfect, man. I was just reading. I didn't get that, but yeah, it's perfect, man. I'm gonna go ahead. It says, "Will not thou, O power, which hadst cast us off, and thou, O power, which didst not go out with our armies, give us help from trouble? For vain is the help of man." See, vain. Esau don't have nobody to look to, man. The Lord is gonna bring great destruction on them, man. They have no one to help, man. It says, "Through power we shall do valiantly, for he it is that shall tread down our enemies," man. And that's true, man. The Lord gonna tread down our enemies, man. But the point I want to make is that He's using China as his watchpot to bring him over Edom, to bring Esau low, man. And He's using them with their financial system until He physically used the war to bring him all the way down. And then the Lord gonna come and basically stomp him out, man. But that's biblical prophecy, man. This is Isaiah 25, and I'm going to start at verse 9. It says, 25 and 9, Isaiah 25 and 9, it says, "And it shall be said in that day, Lo, this is our power. We have waited for him, and he will save us." This is Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. We have waited for him. We will be glad and rejoice in his salvation. For in this mountain shall the hand of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua rest, and Moab shall be trodden down under him. See that? The Lord is still going to take down Moab, man. He's going to use Moab to bring Esau down, and then the Lord going to be under, and then the Lord going to do destruction in Moab, man. It says, "And Moab shall be trodden down under him, even as straw is trodden down for the dunghill." See that? The Lord is going to stomp him out too, man. All nations are subject to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. No nation is going to get away with the wickedness that they have done, man. And we don't, you know what I'm saying, take too much about these other nations like Moab and, you know what I'm saying, the Philistines and you know what I'm saying, Egypt and all these other nations, because most of the prophecy is basically on Esau, on the Edomites, man. But they're going to get their just due too, man. They're going to get their punishment as well, man. So no one is going to get away from the wrath of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. 2/3 of our people is going to get it. So why not these other nations, man? But I'm going to end it there. Lord willing was edifying. Shalom. Shalom.